Welcome to the Jamodi podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. So you've been at Concordia for 17 years now. You got, right? Is that correct?
I think so, yeah. I get lost.
Yeah. That's what I looked. So 17 years or so. And you got Butterfield at UTD that's been there for a long time. There's amazing coaches at that D3 level, especially in Texas. With your playing background, I would imagine over the years you've had opportunities. What has kept you there? And I think I'm asking this for myself as 10 years at Grapevine Faith, with people asking me that question before, what's kept me here? What has helped you to make kind of the big time where you are?
I think kind of always having that mindset. I think part of, and I don't know, I guess I never thought about it from this standpoint, but I think part of being successful as a player is, like we said, there's a lot of lonely times, and you got to make where you are important to stay there. And maybe some of that's traveled with me, is always feeling like if I'm in a gym in July by myself, working out, that's the place to be. I had a football coach when I was at Tech as a freshman. I remember I think it was Coach Winder, maybe, or one of the coaches. He was an old school military guy, and he called me over and he's like, Bonewitz, I can tell you one thing. Just know, remember this bit of advice: wherever you are tonight, that's where the party is. And it was like, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't get it, but then I got it. Like it's just like making where you are what it is. And I don't think I think part of it is I like where I work, probably as you do. You like the administration, you like the people you work with, you like the players you work with. I live in a terrific city. I get to do what I love doing. I get to coach. Coaching is coaching. Yeah, there's advantages to being at different levels, no doubt. But at the same time, as a head coach, you have autonomy to kind of create your schedule and do things kind of how you want to do. And once you've done that for a while, maybe there's a little bit of fear or just or stubbornness of not wanting to give that up. And again, I think you can get better wherever you are if you're willing to invest in what you're doing. Like if you're around smarter people, and of course can't help but get better. But that's why fortunate to have a good assistant who is really good and smart in a lot of ways and better in a lot of ways than I am at some of this. And then choosing people to surround yourself with, coaches and friends who also make you think outside the box and get uncomfortable. So I think perspective is important. And I think, realizing that, I live in a great city, and I get to here in a couple of weekends. I don't get to do much, but I'll be at ACL for a weekend and enjoying 2 or 3 days before we get going. And I'll drive home this evening. And if I want to pick up food from somewhere, there's a lot of good dining options in Austin. And there's just a lot of pluses. And again, ultimately, I get to coach, and I get to, and the guys we work with and coach it's fun. Like you have driven players who you can coach, and that's cool. It's fun. Like that. Not that there's not egos. And because players are, and I want guys to have egos, or when I say healthy ego, like competitive ego. Like, yeah. I want guys to think, that's good. Like, yeah. But it's also, it's cool. We have guys that are balancing having a job and classes and having to make sacrifices that I didn't know as a player. I tell them all the time, like, you guys are so much tougher than what I was. What you're having to do and how you're having to manage and navigate this and what we're asking you to do. That's impressive. And so it's good. I have no, especially as I get older, like I'm not in a rush to try to get somewhere to just because I think I have to. If an opportunity were to ever come, that would be like a no-brainer opportunity for sure. But I'm I'm not pounding the streets. And it's funny when people always have friends or people have asked like that question, but almost in a way that's like why haven't, almost like in a negative way,
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Almost like,
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. It's almost like, man, you don't, like, I can list off 10 reasons why what I'm doing is probably, more enjoyable than what you're doing. And I think I always too, it's good to think about what somebody who has a job, again, me and Coach Cook talk about this a lot, with somebody who has a job that you think they like and you would they trade with you? And a lot of times they probably would, and you just don't think about it that way, because sometimes you can get your ego and get caught up and think about how, some different opportunities that would be out there. And like I said, I'm lucky. I work with multiple different university presidents have been really good to me. They allow me to mess up a lot. My AD allows me to mess up a lot and learn and get better, and knows that, and understand that we're trying to do things the right way and build something that we've been able to stay with for a while. So it's a long answer, but
no, it's good.
I'm sure I answered it, but yeah, I'm and then, like you said, it's great coaching, and it's competitive. I mean, we're coaching against guys. It's it's at a point now where, when I first got in the league, there was these older coaches who I had known of or got to know, and it was like, man, these guys, Coach Rushing at Louisiana College, and Coach DeWeese, and Coach Butterfield, and Coach Holmes, and McMurray. You can go, all these guys, and then you all of a sudden become that guy, and you all, not that I've had that level of success, but you become that older, that veteran, I guess. And then you see the younger guys coming up who are working really hard, and who, you're going to have to continue to stay on it. Otherwise, you can become non-relevant pretty quick. And I think that's at any level. And so that's part of it too. And that's where, again, I think you got to have a good assistant, and a young assistant who helps drive that, because as you get older, it is tough to continue to do that.
It also sounds like, and I like to think that I'm in the same place, where there's a level of contentment with what you're doing, and that's not a negative word.
No,
like that.
Right.
You feel like you're where you're supposed to be.
Correct.
And you're good with that. It's not, it's not complacency.
Exactly. There's a difference, right?
There is a difference.
Like complacency, you're sitting back in a recliner and you got your feet up and you're just
don't
enjoying.
Challenge me. I don't want to work hard. I want to do it. No. Contentment is, I love where I am. I love the people. I love the administration, and also I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. But like you said, if a door opens that I truly feel this was meant for me, that's different. But man, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think again, it goes back to, as a person, you can grow. And that's kind of the Viktor Frankl Man's Search for Meaning kind. You can grow in any environment if you just allow if you have the right mindset and the right approach to it. Some people, it's all perspective. And so I can grow here if I'm willing to surround myself with good people and willing to invest in areas I need to invest in. I'm willing to stretch myself. Then I don't feel like content is not it's a good thing. It means you found some place that you feel like you're supposed to be at, where you feel like you can grow, and then once either that becomes complacency or it becomes negative, then I think it's time you got to start, because then it's not fair to your players, it's not fair to your coach, it's not fair to the university. Once that complacency kicks in, and that's something I'm trying to be really, really conscious of, to make sure you want to find a little bit of balance in life, a little bit as you get older, but you want to make sure you don't lose that edge or that fire to like grow and keep getting better. And so I think it's a daily challenge for a lot of us.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.